Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. In this next series of videos, we're going to be doing MPK prep. We are getting ready to head out to Galot Motorsports Park, and what you see behind me is my 2011 Chevy Silverado 1500. This is going to be our tow rig, and I have to do some work to it, such as adding an auxiliary intercooler for the transmission fluid, because the temps get kind of high and I want to make the transmission more reliable, because we are looking at about a 3-hour drive to obviously drive down there, but in October it's not going to be that bad. The heat's be kind of down, so that's good. That's a good thing. And we're also going to be working on our trailer that we got over there. Don't worry about the Jeep, that's just in the way. I got a trailer there I'm going to be building as well. Hopefully I can have that thing done a little bit tomorrow. So we got to get brakes for it. Well, we've already got a lot of parts for it already, and I don't remember what's all on the top of my head at the very moment, but we're going to go ahead and work on this truck again. Auxiliary intercooler. We're also going to be doing the electronic brake controller underneath the dash. Now, I'm going to try to find a different way to install it, because I'm not a fan of drilling holes into the interiors, especially, I mean, this truck is basically almost bone stock. Nothing's been done to it, and I want to keep it that way, keep it reliable. But anyways, folks, see here, as you guys can see, there's an intercooler. I think this is a B&M intercooler. This was actually given to me by a buddy of mine who knows I'm going to be doing this. And the only thing I got to do is just straighten out the tab down there at the very bottom. Straighten out the tab. I have got a box here. Inside here I got a box, and that's going to be the connection to go between the hose and the radiator itself on the trans side. Obviously, there's my trans brake, not my trans brake, sorry, my electronic brake controller. I picked up these clips, or these clamps right here, to make it more reliable for clamping down these hoses, instead of having the rubber itself squeeze through the small little vents on their typical hose clamps like these guys right there. I'm going to get rid of these guys and put those guys in its place to make it stronger and prevent it, obviously, from bleeding through. I don't like that. This is my own opinion on it. So anyways, folks, I also got the, these are solderless, or no, not solderless. These are, I've already got solder in them. Heat shrink tubing. This stuff works great. I've used it on a lot of jobs I've had to do so far. It's amazing. It really is. Along with a bunch of cleaner. Got some metal right here to make my brackets. And get ready to open her up and have fun with it. Make sure everything goes nice and smooth. After I'm done installing this guy, the auxiliary cooler, I'm going to go ahead and start the truck up and test it first, make sure it's no leaks in it, and as long as there's no leaks in it, I'm good to go. And at that point, that's when I'm going to go ahead and install my brake controller. Now, from what I've been told, that there's already connections inside the truck for it. I just have to finish installing it. And I'm referring to from the factory. Apparently underneath the factory there is a plug. Not a plug per se, but a harness. It's hasn't been finished having the plug attached to it yet, and I plan on taking care of that. Also, apparently there's two power wires that are underneath the hood somewhere around the brake boost area. I haven't found them yet. There's apparently 2 wires there, and this is all from the factory, guys, from what I've gathered from the factory. You got the plug underneath the dash. You've got the 2 wires that need to be hooked up to the fuse box. I've already looked in the area where the fuse box is at, and I do not see those 2 wires connected, so that tells me that it hasn't been done yet. Meaning, it hasn't been finished installing, but it's there. So, hopefully I can find it, and hopefully this install goes smoothly for me, because I've never done this before, so I'm going to learn as I go along. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate support. And I'm going to start at it. Alright guys, I finally gotten the, obviously, the front grille off. It was a little bit of a challenge. even though everyone else on YouTube, you know, makes it look super easy. But this was a little bit of a challenge for me because I didn't realize that there was tabs on the bottom of these guys. So anyways, I got it all off. I'm debating if I'm gonna go and clean it all off or not. Probably not. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But anyways, I got the transcooler here. I've already bent this tab out a little bit to flatten out because it wasn't folded up. So I'm gonna see how I want to mount it. Hold on, let me fix this. There we go. Alright. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'm gonna try to make it so that way you guys can see this very well. Alright, excellent. Try and get that glare out. Screw it. I'll move it over here just to get you guys out of that glare. Alright. And no choice but to hold the camera. Alright, so probably gonna mount it. You know what? Be a bit of a tight squeeze. Give me 1 sec. All right. Make sure to get the best shot for you guys. Come on. Alright, let's see if that works. Alright. So obviously the line's gonna go this direction. I am very curious because I didn't know I didn't know that there was a bar there. She's pretty big. I wonder if I could unbolt this guy. Ah, yes I can. Let's see here. All right. Okay, I'm not going to completely remove it, because I'd rather not. You know what? Okay. Cool. That's up and out of the way. Give me a little bit of room to play. Back up the snow a little bit more. Perfect. Screw him back in some. There we go. Back him out a little bit. Perfect. So I can feel him, feel the bolt sticking on the back side. So, got a little bit of room there. I'm probably gonna do it from the top going in. Yeah, I'm not gonna. A while back, I was originally thinking of doing a auxiliary cooling fan as well, and seeing how tight it's going to be. I don't even think that's going to be remotely possible if I leave it up in this location. I'm trying to think here. Too bad I can't just pull this guy out, but he's welded up top. I do not know if you guys can see that or not. Okay. All right. Guess I might have to unbolt it. I don't see a way around this. Good. I'll put them right in that cavity right there, right up top. Cool. Excellent. Get him up and out of the way. Perfect. Very nice. Excellent. Alrighty, now you go up and under, because it seems like there might be room on the backside. Let me make sure I don't trip any transmission fluid on this guy either. Come on, buddy. Ding, 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 ding. Come on. I'd like to keep the lines up top. So if I keep the lines up top, that means these lines can stay the same length. Alright, so basically I think it'd be a good idea to try to keep the line side up instead of down, just so that way I can keep my distance going the whole way around and connect it up to the transmission fluid lines on the side of the radiator over here. Yeah, I wish this guy could unbolt somehow. That'd be nice if I can get a little bit of clearance back there and get to it. Alright, let's see what happens. See if I can make something work. Okay guys, unfortunately I had to, obviously, putting the cooler in here, putting that cooler in there was a little bit of a tight squeeze to get in between the condenser and this support right here. I just discovered that obviously here's a power steering cooler. I went ahead and removed the top bolt here, the bottom bolt down there, to gain access to these said bolts. They go right here for this entire support. So I removed on both ends, and now I think I've got my room to fish the auxiliary cooler in there. So this might work, and it might work very well. And based off what I'm gathering, it doesn't seem like I'm going to need to even make a bracket for it, which I was kind of looking forward to doing that, just to be a little bit of a custom fabrication. That's what I like to do. But anyways, yeah, I figured I'd share that with you guys before I just say, hey, look, I got it in there. But anyways, that should give me plenty of rooms. Unfortunately, since I can't unbolt it from the top, figured do it from the bottom, give me plenty of room to slide underneath, line it up, and I've already got a huge bucket of hardware right down here. That stuff would be more than enough to take care of it. I mean, this is more than plenty. So, hopefully, that will work. Alright guys, I finally made some progress on the truck here, and I didn't record all of it because I didn't want it to get rather boring for you guys. But anyways, this isn't a finished product, but I finally finished this on it to make it look clean. And I had to do a lot of fabrication, such as cutting down the washers and such. You guys will see what I mean. Right there. I had to trim these washers down so it clears these tabs. And then just basically drill 2 holes in here. I don't like drilling in this truck as least as possible, but this is like the best way I can do it. Now, obviously I did the same thing to the top here. What I've also done is put 2 washers here for spacing, along with another washer on the back side. I trimmed those as well. Let's see here, make sure I got you guys in the video. Basically, yeah, trim all the washers back here, and then put the nuts on it. Tighten everything up so it's solid. She's not going anywhere. Did the top, same thing, except for the top here, since I don't have, so I can avoid what. So I have space between, making sure that these lines do not make contact with the body here on both sides. I went ahead and put a boatload of washers in between the two. I'm not sure you guys can see that or not. There you guys go. Cool. And obviously I've got the fittings in there. Fit the lines the whole way around. Now I haven't even connected them yet because I haven't gotten that far yet. But anyways, I just want to let you guys know that that's the progress I've made so far. And after I know it's going to fit good, I'm going to go ahead and pull everything back off again, clean out the face of it. I got some black spray paint right here. I'm going to take that and spray paint all the heads of the bolts, the washers themselves, so it all looks factory. And I mean, based off looking at that, I mean, she looks clean, she looks good in my book. And I have to be I was very fortunate enough that the front end already had holes here, already in the body. The only thing I had to do on the auxiliary cooler was drill the hole a little bit bigger for these bolts to fit through. And that is it. So, yeah, to summarize it all, shaved down the washers, did those a bunch of times for the front and back, added some spacers in the back here, and that's pretty much about it. So after this is done, I'm going to go ahead and put this line, let's see here, make sure you guys can see that. Go ahead and add this line to the radiator itself. Yeah. Apparently, I think I need to do a little bit of a tweak of the bracket on the radiator itself to get it to fit. Apparently I need to do a little bit of tweaking on the bracket itself for the radiator to get it to fit, so that way it'll work just fine for me. And that should be about it. Once it's all together, like I said, after it's spray painted, all the bolts put it back into place. I'm gonna leave the grill off right now. Alright guys, I have finally gotten there. I have finally done it. It looks a lot better than what I imagined. And it honestly, to me, it looks factory, excluding the fact I've got bolts and washers there that are obviously not painted. I'm going to go ahead, now that I got everything to fit right the way I want it to, I'm going to finish putting the bolts down here at the bottom for the big, I'm going to call this the A bracket. Or actually, no, yeah, A bracket, because it looks like an A, obviously. I'll put the bolts back into it. Make sure that this guy is going to fit nice and snug, and there's going to be plenty of room in the backside for it, because that's the other thing I'm concerned about right now. Once I get that to clear, I know it's going to fit and be good to go. Let me go from there. Oh, the other half decided she wanted to show up after work. All right, I'll be right back. All right, guys. I'm very pleased with how this came out. Yeah, pretty damn well. So all I've done is gotten these 2 bolts back in place right here, and these 2 bolts back into place. Obviously, yes, this guy's still loose, but I'm not too worried about that, because that's just that bolt and that bolt down there at the bottom for the power steering cooler. So this is basically going to be, again, my transmission cooler. And I'm hoping it works great, because I think as I go through the summers with this truck, towing, I'm going to need it. Now, I will say this from my past experience. Alright, basically from my past experience with this truck, I have unfortunately gone through 3 transmission rebuilds on this truck. First one was, unfortunately, it was my fault. The flex plate had cracked on it, and I went to replace it. After I replaced the flex plate itself, I went to put the transmission back in, and some things didn't line up like they should have been. I made the mistake and used a bolt to kind of drive itself in. Well, when I did that, I also destroyed the pump in it. That started the first rebuild. After I got the first rebuild done, no more than a week later, and I will say this, I did not rebuild the transmission the first time, nor the second time. I went ahead and, obviously, like I said, had the transmission rebuilt the first time. Truck drove great, but for some reason it didn't feel right to me. But it is what it is. I was excited to get the truck back because I was losing money because of it. Second time around, the transmission actually died on me again, exactly a week later, and I contacted the shop who did it after they had a tow truck come by and pick it up and take it back to their shop. It took them another week to rebuild it again, but I had asked them, so what happened with it? What caused it to fail? They told me that the torque converter crapped out. Either way, I was like, cool, thanks, I'm glad it's done and over with, and you're good to go. Well, probably about a year later, I was already past the warranty. I've already superseded their 36,000 mile warranty on it, so I was beyond that by a long shot. Excuse me. At that point, I had another issue with the truck. It was running kind of rough on me. It started acting like it was grabbing and going, then all of a sudden releasing, but it was also based off throttle response. It just acted kind of funny, and I'm not going to get into the details about that because I don't want to throw this way out to left field. But anyways, rebuilt the transmission for the third time. Had the assistance of my father. He gave me a hand with this thing, and it was actually pretty darn cool to see the internals of these transmissions and so on and so forth, to have a better understanding of how they worked. And along with rebuilding the transmission, we also made a little bit of adjustments, which I'm not going to get into that either. I'm just going to leave that out. But a little bit of certain small modifications have been made to the transmission to allow it to run better, the driving experience is a little bit better, and so on and so forth. And it runs and drives great. I've been paying attention to my fluid temps. The highest the transmission has ever gotten has been about 215, and that was city driving. I was trying to find a house, and I happened to be looking down on my fluid tap, and it said 215. Truck still drove great. Afterwards, I checked my fluid temp. Fluid temp was still up there. It was still in the hatch marks, and it didn't smell burnt. So we're good to go. So I do understand, with my research, that these transmissions are known for dying pretty much because of heat. Heat is the biggest killer for these things. And there was actually a graph that my father had sent me telling me what the temps are for, or what the temps should be in the ranges for city, highway, and towing. And to my knowledge, when I was monitoring the temps, the truck never even came above 215, and that's just city driving on a 95-degree day. And like I said, it drove great. So I chose to add the auxiliary cooler to bring the temps down a lot more, and unfortunately this truck didn't even come with it. So I went ahead and obviously edited it myself. That is it. But anyways, folks, not to, get back to the main topic at hand. I'm going to go ahead, and now that I've recognized that the bracket everything's good together, everything's nice and tight, I'm not too worried about that just yet. As you can see, nothing is making contact with the bottom at all. I mean, I can still see daylight through the two, so that's a good thing. That means it's not going to even touch at all. So that's perfect. That's what I wanted to see. Next thing is going to be... Alright, next thing is going to be this guy. Make sure that clears. Something tells me that's not sitting right. Maybe it is. No, it has to be. Yeah. Sits just like that. Perfect. Clears all the bolts and everything all the way around, so it looks like it doesn't... That looks perfect, guys. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do is just take it all apart again and just spray paint those washers right there that you see, and that's about it. But other than that, I mean, once I have it all spray painted, it's probably gonna look like it's factory, and that's the way I want it to look. I like to look neat. I like to have it look presentable. So in the near future, if someone approaches me saying, "Hey, I want one of that stuff done to my truck too," sure, I can hook you up. Go from there. But anyways, folks, hopefully I should have the lines hooked up next in the next few minutes. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and start her up and re-verify all my connections were tight. Even the bolt for the back side of the radiator is tight as well. A little bit of a squeal to it. Ain't too bad. So far so good. I'm not seeing any leaks. Alright. Nice. I'm liking it. Yeah. Looking good, guys. Underneath, that's a bit better. I guess it was not really the same way, so. Up and over that. So, other than that, I'm very pleased with how it all looks. I'm very pleased with it. It's like awesome. It almost looks like it's factory for the truck. And let's see here. So you guys can see, no leaks. I'm not seeing any leaks at all. That is perfect. I would check the transmission fluid level right now, but that's not going to be of any help, unfortunately, because obviously the transmission has to be warmed up in order for it to check the fluid levels. You got to drive around the block a couple times to get the transmission fluid heated up. And that's pretty much about it, folks. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up the cooling fan for right now. Sorry, not the cooling fan, the auxiliary transmission fluid cooler. That's going to wrap that up right now.